Feedback is the heart of the eBay system, and giving and receiving feedback helps other members on eBay receive a valuable impression about you and your business dealings, ethics, and methods. The goal is to always receive positive feedback from your buyers and to give it as well, but sometimes things don't always go well, and feedback is the way that buyers and sellers rate each other. There's a number of different ways you can leave feedback for your buyers. The first way is let's go take a look at the sold items, and you can do that through My eBay. On the My eBay page, we'll go back to sold listings because you can only leave feedback for a transaction that's actually been sold. If you're a buyer, you can also leave feedback for the seller, but you're the seller in this case. You've sold some items and you want to leave some feedback for your buyers. You can go ahead and look at an individual item that you've sold, and if the item has been packed and shipped and it's on its way to the customer, it's usually common courtesy to leave a positive feedback for your buyer at the time they pay you. A prompt payment results in the seller giving positive feedback. You would click on More Actions here, and you can choose the option to leave feedback. Now, I generally recommend you leave feedback immediately after payment because some sellers wait until the buyer receives the item and they express that they're happy with the item, but that sort of feels like you're holding the feedback hostage. If a buyer completes their obligation in a transaction, it's usually a great idea to immediately reward them by leaving them a favorable feedback. You can also leave feedback directly from the eBay listing page. You'll see on the eBay listing page that there's a link here to leave feedback for your buyer. Now, there's a third way that I know of to leave feedback, and if I go to the bottom of any eBay page, you can see the site map on eBay. And over here, you can learn more about feedback in the feedback forum, or you can click this link to leave feedback for another member when you've sold them an item. Here's a list of all the items I've sold, and I can leave feedback for the buyers in all of these transactions. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a sample feedback message. I have a positive feedback rating I'm going to give this buyer, and I'm going to say, great buyer, prompt payment, thank you for your business. And then I can leave feedback for all the rest of these sales as well. There's all of these listings that I've sold that I can leave feedback for. Once I'm done putting in all the feedback comments, I can click on the Leave Feedback option. So now that I've left the buyer feedback, I can also send them a message through eBay asking them to go ahead and leave me a favorable feedback as well. Feedback is valuable from a buyer and a seller perspective, and before you get into leaving people unfavorable comments, it's always a good idea to try and resolve any issue before feedback is left. Well, that's really all there is to it. By leaving feedback for your buyer, you're showing your appreciation for them. In practice, it's far more important for a seller to receive favorable ratings since the buyer can bid on anyone's listing, but a seller depends on his or her feedback as a calling card for buyers to see how well they treat their other buyers before they make a purchase with you. Protecting your feedback with great service and honorable business dealings will improve your eBay business and let your sales blossom to the best they can be.